Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. Can you turn those lights on behind you, please? Other lights. There we go. Nope, you got them. Okay, thank you. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where it is a hump day that is snowing. And actually, it's probably kind of fun for you. Our good friend Kaylin is here, Kaylin Callender from the Lake Hope Lodge. And you said that you are a naturalist up there, so we can't wait to hear about all the fun stuff that you get to do. What a cool job that you have. But you also have something, a very, very fun event coming up. Is it this weekend?
This Saturday, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we want to meet Kaylin here. So first off, I guess, could you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then kind of tell us, I don't know what a naturalist exactly does.
Right, exactly. A lot of people are not familiar with my job, so I would be happy to elaborate.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, so I'm stationed at Lake Hope State Park.
Okay.
A lot of our state parks have naturalists. I particularly am full-time, but we also have seasonal naturalists at other state parks like Lake Alma, that is close by here at Jackson. And then a lot of people are familiar with Hocking Hills, which they also have a handful of naturalists up there, too.
Is that a thing? Is Hocking Hills a thing?
It is a little thing, thing. A couple million thing.
Right?
Yeah, so I've been at Lake Hope State Park for 9 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
You look like you're 12, so how is that a thing?
Thank you. I'm actually mid-career right now, so I'm staring down retirement plans. But before state parks, I worked for a county agency up in Columbus, and I was there for 7 years. And then before that, I just worked at various outdoor education camps, kind of getting my foot in the door and learning about teaching people outside, which is what I do. Yeah, it's what I do as a naturalist. So at Lake Hope, what I really enjoy is teaching people how to kayak, how to stand up paddleboard,
not go in a circle,
how to not go in a circle, how to get back on if you fall off, how to do it safely. Of course, I do a lot of hikes year round. So I have one in particular coming up on this Friday. It's a mostly full moon hike, so it starts at 4. It'll be a couple miles, and we just walk through the forest at nighttime, and hopefully by moonlight, we'll see if it clears up for us. So
fun.
Yeah. Another part of my job is taking care of our nature center, and that's open year-round, but I have seasonal hours. So right now we're open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 10 to 2, and people can come in there and check out. I have a lot of animals in there, so we have some box turtles and some aquatic turtles.
Cute.
Yeah, we also have snakes, so if you're into snakes, those are my favorite. I have a couple tree frogs, and of course I have a bunch of fish in there that are from Lake Hope or the surrounding waterways. So it's really neat to see those up close and safely. I do program with them, so sometimes I get the snakes out or the turtles out, and you can help me care for them or touch them.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm good with anything but the snakes.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe you can help me get over my fear.
Well, that's one of my goals every time I program with the snakes in particular, because that seems to be a common thing. I want you guys to learn more about them. I don't know.
I did not know that I had a fear of snakes. And my husband and I was telling you, we have some acreage, and we were out trees and stuff one day, and I looked down and there was this ginormous snake, and it was black, and it had like I just remember a red somewhere on its head or something. And I literally froze. Like my body would not move. And I was like consciously, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I was literally, my body froze. I couldn't believe it. I was so disappointed in myself because I'm like, how is that a thing?
Well, it could be something deep down primal, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah. Survival tactic.
Ridiculous. And it did hiss at me too.
Yeah, probably was scared of you as well.
It probably was, yeah. So, but I survived that. But so then I'm like, okay, I think I have an issue with snakes. I wonder why people are so afraid of snakes.
I don't know. I mean, we do have 2 venomous snakes that live here in southern Ohio. That's something that I talk about a lot. I have the 2 replicas, not the live snakes at the nature center.
That's good.
So that's, for our listeners that aren't aware of what those snakes are, that's the northern copperhead and then the timber rattlesnake.
Yes.
Both very beautiful animals. And even though they're venomous, they're actually not aggressive. So a lot of people associate venom with aggression, and they're
they're looking for you.
Yeah, they're coming after you if you are anywhere near them. They're going to strike for no reason, and that's just not the case. They're really peaceful animals. They're very docile animals, and I've even talked to some researchers that they're looking for those snakes specifically, and they get very close. They can handle them professionally, safely. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that our viewership do that, of course, but even the professionals are aware that, there's safety concerns, and they've worked with them a lot and know that they're really just not very aggressive. The other thing that seems to be floating around, the myth around them, is that you'll die if you get bit.
Sure.
And that's not really the case either. I mean, there's a very, very small percentage that you might have a strong reaction to the venom.
Okay.
But those venomous snakes are using venom to kill food. They want return. If they're giving venom up, they want something back in return. And
they're not going to eat a human.
No, they're not going to eat a human. No.
You're way bigger than me.
Right. So usually what adult snakes will do, the venomous snakes, is if they're feeling threatened, so that's the catalyst. That's the first thing that has to happen, is they're feeling really, really scared.
Sure.
They're backed into a corner. They feel like there's no way out. So then they will do a dry bite. So that's them biting you but not injecting any venom. So they have the option. Yes, that's
pay attention to me.
Yeah. Please stop doing whatever you're doing. I'm feeling scared.
Okay.
So like I said, the adults can decide when to inject venom into the bloodstream. Yeah. And then if they are still provoked, then they're going to release some venom.
Okay.
But again, they really want something in return. They want some food. Because that venom takes a while to recreate in their venom glands, so they don't want to use all of it up on you.
So they're looking at probably what, like rodents, like mice or something of that nature. That they can...
Yeah. So if you're looking at a snake, the good rule of thumb is that snake can ingest something about twice the width of its head. So we're looking at something that's not much bigger than like a squirrel for a really big snake.
Or something.
Yeah, they like fuzzy little creatures. At least those 2.
We're not that fuzzy.
Yeah. And that's I didn't mean to start talking all about snakes,
this
but
is fascinating to me, though.
The other thing I like to talk about with snakes is that, those chipmunks, those mice, those rats that they really love to eat, those are vector species for us humans. A vector species is something that can transmit diseases to us. They can make us sick.
Oh.
So you don't want a mouse or a rat in your house, right?
No. Barn, okay, maybe, but not the house.
Yeah, so when they nibble on our stuff, when they poop or pee on all of our things, we can get sick from that.
Okay.
So that's why we like to have snakes around, is because
Sure.
they're eating all of that for us. It's rodent control.
That makes sense. And kind of like bats.
Yeah.
People freak out about bats. I'm like, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to my home. Not inside my home, but welcome to my property.
Yeah. Oh, we love bats.
Bats do all kind of good things.
They do. Yeah. Specifically here in Ohio, they're insectivores, so they're eating a lot of insects. But around the world, you get a lot of pollinating bats, especially in the tropical areas. So if you guys like to eat mangoes or chocolate, vanilla flavored things.
Well, yes, and yes.
There are all sorts of things. Agave, so if you like tequila,
Sure.
Bats are responsible for helping to produce those fruits because they're pollinating those plants. So yay bats.
Yay, bats. If you like tequila, it's all in the wings of a bat.
Yeah. Yes.
See, so you find out that these creatures are not all so bad after all. My favorite story with a critter is, I don't know why, I think possums are absolutely adorable.
Oh, yes.
I don't know why. I have no idea. Anything else would, you walk out in your garage and you see something and it freaks you out, but I went out one night and there was I walked past it and didn't see it, and I went to get just like a bottle of water out of the fridge or something. And I turned around and there was this possum, and it was just sitting there looking at me, and I was like, I need you, because we have a kitty door.
That's how it got in. Yeah.
And I was like, I need you to leave. Okay, just go out the kitty door, where you came from, and all will be good. And it did. And I came back in, and my husband was like, "Who are you talking to?" There's a possum in the garage.
And it obeyed.
It was so pretty. It was it was like a really almost like, it was not a skunk, no, but it had darker, blacker and whiter fur. And I was like, "You're so pretty," and I was telling you it was pretty. So anyway, I'm not certifiably insane. I may be, but I know I loved it. I was like, "Oh, you're so cute."
Well, when you see an animal up close, you get to appreciate those small details.
Yeah.
Which is, why at the nature center, because we have a bunch of furs, possum included. You can see them, you can touch them. Another one it's really interesting to see up close is a groundhog, because where do we see groundhogs at? When we're driving super fast along the road, and they're just, it's a brown little creature, but their fur is actually tricolored. It's got several different colors from the near the skin all the way up to the tip of each hair, and they're really gorgeous. So I understand your possum infatuation. Yeah.
And possum, they all do good things.
They do.
Yep. I mean, they are annoying to us, but they do good things.
Yeah. Oftentimes they're annoying because we find them eating, cat food that was left out or whatnot. So
that's our fault.
Yeah. Yep.
So, we get what we deserve.
Yeah, exactly.
The cat should eat faster.
It should.
That's the way I look at it. No, very good. Okay, so I did not know there was a nature center at Lake Hope. Where would somebody find that? Because I think that if you could go and see the snakes and the fish and all that, it would be such a fun treat.
Yeah, so the park has a couple different entrances on State Route 278, and the campground entrance is also the entrance to the nature center. So if you want to get online and look up directions, you can go to ohiodnr.gov. Or we're also on Facebook. I keep that pretty up to date with our programs and information, so you can feel free to hop online and look at either one of those areas.
Very good.
Yeah.
You can find all the stuff and things that are happening.
Yes.
Very cool. And speaking of stuff and things happening, you all have something fun going on Saturday, right?
Yeah, so Saturday is our annual Christmas at Lake Hope. And Santa is coming to visit us from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Lake Hope Lodge. He's pretty busy this time of year, so we're really thankful that he's coming out. Our Santa is old-timey Santa, kind of vintage, so He likes to wear a different kind of outfit. He's kind of got the greens and the reds going on.
Fun.
And he is absolutely fabulous. He's so good with all the kids, takes his time in answering all those really important questions that they have,
Sure.
listening to all of the gift requests. So make sure you have your list ready for him. And of course, with him, we have hot chocolate available for our guests, and chocolate chip cookies as well, which is my favorite. So that will be inside the lodge, just in the lobby area. So you can visit him. You can have a meal there at the Lake Hope Lodge, which is excellent food. And then also, we're going to have horse-drawn wagon rides that start and end at the parking lot right in front of the lodge. And it's so fun.
Wait, you're not going to go up and down the hill, are you?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's terrifying.
Not all the way. So
if you haven't been up there, you don't know what I'm talking about. The driveway is interesting.
Yeah, it's the lodge has a really good view of the valley below it. So
to get up there, let's just say you have to climb a hill.
Yes.
With your car.
Yeah, it's an adventure to get there.
It is.
So,
But it is beautiful.
yeah, so that's going to be happening on Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. at the lodge, and it's all free, which we were discussing that a little earlier. All of my program is free, so come visit Santa, get your requests in, and then have a cookie and take a ride on the horse-drawn wagon rides, all for free. So.
Do you get any much more Christmas than that? Like, hello.
Yeah.
And if you have been up there, you know what we're saying. But if you have not been up to the Lake Hope Lodge, it is, especially if we can have some snow still in the trees, it is just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
This time of the year.
It's pretty magical there.
It is. That's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also, and I'm sure this isn't your department, but I'm sure you can speak of it. You know, there's a lodge there. There's cabins that one can rent, and then is there rooms within the lodge?
There is not.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I couldn't remember.
you're right. We do have a lot of cabins. I think we have 67 cabins, which is the most out of all the state parks in Ohio.
Yeah.
And ours are really older cabins. They're definitely updated, but the original construction was back in the 1930s, before state parks was actually a thing. So ODNR, Ohio Department of Natural Resources, which is the umbrella that we work under, so the Division of Parks and Watercraft, that is celebrating our 75th anniversary this year. Yeah, which is a big deal, but Lake Hope predates that. So we're even older than the department itself. So those cabins are very old, very cozy, like a cabin should be in the woods, all made of different kinds of wood, which a lot of them are named after. Some of them have fireplaces. So that's something to consider if you want a little getaway.
So this is my way of describing it. Think modern cabins that you would have seen in Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
that the staff lived in. Because, just really cool, little log cabins, but with little porches and the picnic table outside and all the stuff that you need. We actually stayed there, I think, a few years ago. When I was in college, we had one of our college dances there. And everybody got cabins, and it was so fun.
Aww, that sounds
we had
awesome.
a good time. Yeah, but it was really neat because the cabins are all kind of in a line, and everybody could just hang out. It was fun.
Yeah.
So very good. Okay, so you have Christmas coming up this coming Saturday, which we discussed with Santa. How did you get Santa this time of the year?
We have to book him way in advance. He's really busy. Yeah. But he also likes Lake Hope for all the reasons that we talked about. So
what isn't there to like?
Yeah.
So Lake Hope, obviously, in the summer looks a lot different than Lake Hope in the winter. The things that you can do there and whatever. So could we just talk for a minute about, the different seasons and some of the things available
Yeah.
to our viewers?
Yeah. So in the wintertime, having that cozy little fire in your cabin is great. Going on a hike with me is fun, of course.
I think that's something. The full moon. That sounds so neat.
Yeah, I try and do that at least, for the full moon each month. Sometimes it doesn't fall on a really good day, so Mondays, for example, are not popular days. But I do a lot of other hikes. If you're not interested in hiking in the dark, I have things during the daytime too.
Okay.
And so those are some things for the winter time. In the spring, really beautiful wildflowers are popping up everywhere.
yes.
Fishing is very popular in the spring, starting in February, actually. The lake itself is known for having lots of panfish, like your sunfish, the bluegill, largemouth bass, channel catfish. And then in the summertime, that's more of our busy season. So the lake is really popular for paddling sports. So the kayaks, stand-up paddleboards. You can rent pontoon boats and things. If you go with me, it's free. Or you can rent your own. That's fine. There's a concessionaire there too. So another program that I do in the summertime in July and August is we hand feed hummingbirds.
Okay. Stop.
We do. Yes. And we're talking about magical things. That is probably the epitome of magic right there.
Yes.
When you're holding a little vial of sugar water out like this, and you're holding very, very still like a statue, pretending you're a flower. And if the hummingbirds choose you, they come in and they'll hover, and they'll sip the sugar water right out of the little vial that you have in your hand. And that program has been going on for over 20 years now. So I can't take credit for that. I'm just continuing on the program, and it is wonderful every single year. I never get bored of people enjoying that program. So you'll have to keep your eyes and ears peeled for that when it comes back around in July.
Now, is that just a one-time thing, or do you do several different sessions of that?
Yes. So that happens Thursdays through Sundays in July and August from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Nature Center.
I'm sure people just hate that. Right?
Yeah.
Why are hummingbirds? They are just such amazing little creatures.
They really are.
And then someone was telling me, don't they migrate from like really far away and they have to fly like over an ocean?
Yeah. So if you've seen a hummingbird, you know how big they are. Maybe a 3.5-inch wingspan. And they are only here in Ohio or, the eastern United States in the warmer months. So they start showing up in April. They leave usually the bulk of them in like early September. And they are flying maybe 2,000 miles or so down to southern Mexico and Central America, all by themselves. So they're not cheating. They're not hitching a ride on a duck or a goose. They're not going to the same places anyway. They're doing it all by themselves.
Do they fly? Do they stay together in like a little flock, or are they individual creatures?
They tend to gravitate towards good food sources. So you might, like at the Nature Center, you might see a bunch of them there.
Because their food is there.
Because that's where the good food is, right? They're not necessarily hanging out in flocks
together
just to socialize.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Same thing with migrating. A lot of them will migrate kind of in the same time period. A lot of times they're looking for the right weather pattern to push them south or push them back up north. So a lot of them leave at
little
the same
buggers,
time.
aren't they?
Yeah, they're really intelligent little creatures. So they're fun.
What a fun job you have.
I'm pretty lucky. Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. Okay, and so how does one? And then we'll get into fall, because fall at Lake Hope, I think, is just mind blowing. But how do people get to come and feed a hummingbird or whatever? Do you just show up? Do you need to schedule an appointment? How does that work for your sessions of different things?
Yeah. So my public programs, all you have to do is show up typically. There are very few programs that I do that it's pre-registration. So watercraft programs is something that I pre-register because I can only take a certain number of people on the water with me. And then, like in the winter time, I do owl pellet dissection, which is picking apart owl puke, basically, and you're looking at the little bones and things inside of it. So I only have a set number of those available.
There's only so much owl puke that you can
right,
gather at one time.
Yeah. So what I recommend for people is that they find the information online, or they can call me or email me. And my information is on the OhioDNR.gov website, my phone number at the Nature Center. But usually where you're finding that program information at either that website or Facebook, it's going to tell you right off the bat if it's a pre-registration or not. But most of them, you just come and hang out with me and learn some stuff and have fun. So, yeah.
That sounds like a really good time.
Yeah.
And again, it's not costing you anything.
No. Well, the other thing I wanted to mention too was if you have a private group, like a scout group or a church group or garden club or something, I also do private programs as well. When I can fit them in, which wintertime is a really great time. We love for people to bring groups to the park, but it's also an option for me to go to you as well. So a lot of times I'm in our local school system doing programs in the classroom.
Fun.
So if you have a group of guaranteed at least 10 people, then you can schedule something private.
Do you travel with Snake?
I do. We should bring him next time.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
No, I'm laughing because what's the spider's name over there? Do you know? Have you met him? Okay. So I'm walking through, leaving yesterday. They're like, "Oh, have you met blah 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 Carl or whatever?" And I was like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "Oh," and they held up this little plastic thing, and he's a jumping spider, I guess, and he has a little house here.
Oh, a little live one.
And he lives here.
Okay.
And they feed him things. And
yeah.
I was like, oh, great.
So no snakes, no spiders.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what freaked me out a little bit. Maybe I just need to meet a cool snake or a cool spider, and then life would be better.
Yes.
I would get it because I do love critters.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we do have a spider that lives here in a thing that they feed gnats to, they said, or something.
He's got to eat.
Spider's hungry, man.
Yeah.
So, no, I think that's cool. So what is the snake's name? Does he have a name?
So the one that I program most with is a rat snake, a black rat snake, or gray rat snake, depending on when you were taught the common name. And he does not have a name. I call him Rat Snake because if I called him Carl or if I called him Fluffy, then people would remember that fun name and maybe not necessarily what the species is. So I only have one box turtle that has a secret name, and that's Sean.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I'm breaking it live. So, but yeah, he's the only one that actually has a fun name, we'll say. So, and my rat snake he's a big guy. He's over 6 feet long, and he is super chill. So he's a really good snake to get up close with. People can certainly touch him. I can't have you hold him entirely, but he's a good snake to kind of dispel some fears about snakes. Yes, he's a good one to meet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If there's a good snake to meet We're going to meet that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can bring him. We could do that.
Yeah.
She's like,
Definitely.
What are we going to get ourselves into? Very cool. So is the nature center, is it open year round or?
It is.
Okay.
I'm open more in the summertime, so I'm
Okay.
open at least 5 days a week in the summer. Right now, it's only about 3 days a week, just because, it's a little bit slower time. So
Sure.
yeah, but it is year round.
So what are some of the other things, I can speak to the like Sunday buffet that they have at the lodge, which is very good. What all happens in that beautiful building?
Yeah, a lot of Sunday brunch buffet.
If you haven't been up there, I'm just going to tell you, you're missing out.
Yeah, our lodge is fantastic, and they're the ones providing hot chocolate and cookies, so you know that they're going to be delicious on Saturday. So thank you to the lodge. Also, thank you to Friends of Lake Hope that is helping to sponsor that event too. But yeah, the lodge does a lot of local ingredients. They do pit barbecue, so their brisket, their smoked pulled pork sandwich is one of my favorites.
So good.
Yeah.
Do they still have a pizza oven up there?
They do have pizza oven. They have a gluten-free crust option as well for those of you that need that. So just lots and lots of really great food. I am looking forward to Saturday so I can have dinner up there myself.
There you go. See?
So good testimonial. So yeah, the lodge itself is mostly the restaurant. We also have a gift shop and reservation office there.
I was going to talk about the gift shop.
Yeah.
Some really neat stuff in it.
Yes.
Really cool.
They have a lot of local craft.
Yeah, like local artisans have things for sale in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So different cups and teas and lotions and shirts and all sorts of things up there. A good stop if you're looking for a unique Christmas gift, for example. Yeah. And then below the restaurant is a rentable space.
Right.
So a lot of weddings take place there, a lot of business meetings. They utilize that space, and then they can be catered by the restaurant, which is perfect.
Exactly. So it's kind of one-stop shopping. Yeah. And if you have a special event and it's a kind of an overnight thing, then they have all the cabins that you can rent and all that too. And it's so much fun. Yeah. And they have been updated and all the modern conveniences in the woods. Super cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. All right. So let's talk about fall at Lake Hope.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Because that's a whole thing in itself.
Right. So, in Southeast Ohio, we have beautiful vistas, oftentimes rolling hills. So it's a really good geography to view those beautiful fall colors. Lots of oranges and reds and yellows, and you get that experience there at the park as well. So if you look across the lake, you can see the greens of the pines and all of the deciduous, the trees like those oaks and hickories as well. And it's just absolutely gorgeous to walk along one of our trails and enjoy that really colorful time of year.
Yes, it is. And I just don't know that there's a prettier view than being up there. And the cool thing about if you go up for like a Sunday brunch or for dinner or something, there's a kind of a wraparound porch. You can go outside, and it's just such a perfect photo opportunity. And people like to take selfies and stuff.
Yeah.
Great opportunity, and you just have this absolutely amazing backdrop. You can't paint it any better than it is.
Yeah.
So it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
And if the weather's nice, you can sit outside as well.
Yeah, they do have dining al fresco on that wraparound deck. And then there's also a patio below that you can kind of hang out and take in the view and enjoy yourself. So
yeah. Now, where does one find like the trails that you were talking about?
So on ohiodnr.gov,
Okay.
there is a map that is available on Lake Hope's page. So you can look at the map and you can decide what trails are interesting to you. We have primary use hiking trails and also primary use mountain bike trails, which you can hike on. And that's very popular at the park too.
Okay.
Some of the trails go right along the water's edge.
Neat.
So if you like those beautiful views, our Peninsula Trail or the Lake Hope, the Furnace Trail are two really good, very popular trails to hike on.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Furnace Trail. That
Furnace.
sounds like there's a feature.
Yes. Gosh, we don't have enough time to get into the
You
real
let us
cultural
right
history.
into it.
Yeah, so Lake Hope has a iron furnace, and that was active from 1854 to 1874. So the iron furnace, as the name alludes to, is an iron smelting furnace. So it looks similar to a pyramid, large sandstone blocks with a brick lining on the inside, and they would dump iron ore that was mined from the area into the top, as well as charcoal that they created on site using timber that they had harvested from the area.
Correct.
And also limestone that was mined from the area as well. Actually, further south than Lake Hope is where the limestone usually comes from. And they would dump all that into the top. Everything would melt down. The iron would ooze out the bottom into small little troughs. It would cool, and that would be similar to a cast iron product. And that would be shipped via railroad further towards the East Coast or along the East Coast for more refinement into steel products. A lot with the Union Army because it was the Civil War at that time. So.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
To think?
Yeah. It's still standing. There's a great kiosk with a lot of good information right next to it.
Very
if
cool.
people are interested in more information on the furnace.
So that's a whole other situation.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm assuming the Furnace Trail takes you by the furnace.
Yes. Yes, it does.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about the furnace is it's located pretty much right on 278. So you can stop in, park, walk right up to it. And then if you want to go along the Furnace Trail, that's one of the trailheads is right there next to the furnace. Yeah.
See? Very cool. Yeah. So now the lake in the summer, is it, tell us a little bit about that while you're here. I know you said, paddle boarding or kayaking, but you can rent things right there as well, or you can bring your own, I assume?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So how do you do that?
Well, there is a boat ramp right on 278. So you can utilize that for, your larger watercraft. It is an electric motor only lake. So you can't have, a speedboat or something going full bore. It's just not that large of a lake. So there is a boat ramp for those larger watercraft. Certainly if you have a paddle craft, you can just pop it right in the water there at the boat ramp. There's a couple options for that.
Okay.
There's also a beach on the opposite side of the boat ramp with a concessionaire there available with rentals. So those are probably your two options, your two main options.
Okay. Are you allowed to swim there?
You are. There's two areas. The main area being the beach.
Okay.
Staying within the buoyed area, you're certainly allowed to swim.
Fun.
And then there's a swimming off of your boat area, which is further back in the lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, so you can go there and have fun too.
Yes.
And again, if you have your own stuff, it's free.
Yeah. Or if you come with me, it's free.
Or if you come with Kaylin, it's free. And she can teach you how to pick yourself back up if you fall down.
Exactly.
Can I tell you a really funny story about paddleboarding?
Yes.
My husband is very athletic. He played baseball in college and all kind of stuff. So now this is not a lake story. This is an Aruba story. So neither of us had been paddleboarding. So we're in Aruba and we're like, let's go paddleboarding. That sounds like a really good, fun thing to do. So we get these paddle boards, and God bless his heart, he could not stand up on the thing for anything.
Oh.
And I mean, I'm not athletic, and I stood right up, and and he's all mad, and we're laughing because the guy behind us he came with the GoPro strapped and the whole 9 yards, and dude couldn't even sit on the paddleboard. Like he just kept falling into the water. So it was the whole thing. We're laughing at each other and whatever. So then Jamie and I, he finally gets up. We're paddling. And so then we decide to sit down and we're just chatting. And the next thing we know, we look and we're like so far out because we're just sitting on these things talking and, the ocean is.
Mm-hmm.
So I start paddling back into shore and I look back and I'm like, what is he doing? And he's like, I can't go anywhere. And I look and he has his legs in the water, like straddling the thing with his legs hanging in the water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, honey, put your legs up on the board. He's like, oh.
Yep.
And he's so smart. And I'm like, what are you doing? So that's my paddleboard story.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So
That's fun.
you could, if we ever came to paddleboard with you, you could tell him that he needs to put his legs on the paddleboard.
That definitely helps.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit of resistance there.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's my whole ridiculous paddleboard story. But anywho, okay. So gosh, we could just talk all day about Lake Hope, and I hope that you come back, and we would love for you to bring some critters with you if possible. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I will even pet the snake.
Okay, you heard it here.
I'll do it.
It's gonna happen.
I'll take one for the team. No, let's talk about, give us a rundown again of this coming Friday. You have an event, and then this coming Saturday, you have an event
Yep.
up at Lake Hope.
Yep. So Friday is our mostly full moon hike, and that starts at 4 at our shelter house. And then Saturday, the Christmas at Lake Hope event also starts at 4, and that will be at the lodge. So from 4 to 6, you can come up there and visit Santa and eat some cookies.
Santa, cookies, hot chocolate. Is there anything better than that, Pete Wilson?
I don't think so.
It's Pete's birthday. You should tell Pam that you need to go up there to Lake Hope and see Santa for your birthday.
Okay, we don't even need Santa to go up there. There's lots of other things.
That is true.
But
Absolutely.
Santa is an extra bonus.
I need all the Santa I can get.
Right, and since I'm going to do the news in just a little bit, and Kaylin is sitting there, I should tell her that State Route 278 north of Zaleski is closed due to a down power line.
Oh, no.
So I bet that's the way you go home, right?
Ooh, yeah,
So
that could affect my route back. Yeah.
So Pete's saying that the road back to Lake Hope right now, as we speak, is closed due to a downed power line. They'll get it. They'll get it fixed up pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to do that. I know one thing that was kind of popping around in my mind. The full moon hike, is it strenuous? Can anybody come? Like what? How does that work?
Yeah, so the full moon hikes, because they're in the dark and they're on more primitive trails, so we're not hiking on, a paved path.
Okay.
I would consider them strenuous.
Okay.
Just because there's a lot of roots and rocks and
Okay.
options to twist things in the dark.
Gotcha.
So yeah, if you're up for an adventure, that sounds great, you're more than welcome to come. But yeah, just, something to keep in mind that it is dark.
If you have any balance issues or something like that.
Yeah, probably not the best option.
Sure. There will be other things for you to do.
There's plenty of other things to do.
Come see Santa on Saturday and eat cookies.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Is there anything else you wanted to tell our viewers while you're here?
I just am looking forward to seeing everybody at the park this Saturday, and feel free to come to one of my programs. Like we said, it's all free and a lot of fun. Learn a little something. So that's all I have.
Well, it has been so fun meeting you and talking to you today and finding out a little bit more about the workings of Lake Hope. And of course, right there kind of on the outskirts, well, sort of Hocking Hills. And that's a whole other situation. Mm-hmm. But if you want to not be right in the hustle and bustle of Hocking Hills, but still have all of the amenities and the cool things, please visit Lake Hope and get a great meal while you're doing it, because they have wonderful food up there. So, all right. Well, Kaylin, thank you so much for coming down and spending the morning with us. And we are going to hear from our friends at Vinton County Bank, and we'll be back with Pete Wilson on his birthday with some news.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work, Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
I'm back, and Jimmy, if you wanted to check with Matt and them and see if they have time for Kaylin on KOV, so she can promote her event there. Okay, thank you. Very good. And Pete is here. It is his birthday. Happy birthday, Pete Wilson.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Am I allowed to say what birthday it is?
Please don't do that to me.
He's 70, everybody.
You didn't do what I told you to do.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Okay, are you getting older? Is your hearing failing
I'm
you?
sorry. I didn't. Did you hear him say that? I see. Kaylin didn't hear it either.
Oh, okay.
Happy birthday, Pete Wilson.
Those girls are in league against me.
So it is your birthday. Are you doing anything special today?
Probably just working and maybe going out to eat once or twice.
Okay, once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, very good. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in the news.
Okay, some things to report, Christmassy and non-Christmassy.
Okay.
Yesterday, well, actually, it was late Monday afternoon. Good news came for Jackson County and Vinton County governments. Remember, it wasn't all that long that the remnants of Hurricane Helene came through.
You're not kidding.
And caused all kinds of havoc. You know, mostly what we remember were the power outages, but there was also infrastructure damages as well.
Serious damage.
Road damages, culvert damages, debris to clean up. There was, in town where there's the wires and the fiber optics, some of that got knocked down and had to be replaced. Anyway, back at that point, the Jackson County Commissioners, the Vinton County Commissioners may have done that too, but the Jackson County Commissioners did a state of emergency, and that's because we had an emergency. But what that did, that opened the door for possible aid later on. Well, that has come. Governor DeWine has announced that 6 counties in southeastern and south central Ohio, of which Jackson and Vinton are 2, have qualified for what is called State Disaster Relief Program funds.
Okay.
What this will do is, the money's already been spent, the work's been done, but this will reimburse governmental entities and even some nonprofit organizations for the storm-related expenses that they had. And this is a big deal when a little township has to do unscheduled culvert damage and all like that. It's not all 100% reimbursable, but it's 75%. It's pretty daggone good. So that's something that may not affect, the regular resident, but it's very important for the local governments. Jackson County Engineer's Office, all the roads and bridges and whatever that they deal with, and then the townships with the damages that they had, even in the city where some wires were knocked down. Also, even though it's not government, it's nonprofit and serves the public, the Buckeye Rural Electric Cooperative, which had power outages that went almost a week, some of them. Unofficially, we've not heard this officially from the governor's office, but we understand that that they will receive maybe up to $200,000 for their expenses. Overall, how much does this amount to in Jackson County? For all the governmental entities, put them all together, $574,000 is what the damage estimates were. 75% of that should come back through this program in this announcement. So that was
Very cool.
Pretty important.
Yep.
Okay, we've got a report from the Jackson Police to pass along. This occurred on Monday morning, 9:15 a.m. Police were called out to Hammertown. Now, Hammertown is out of the city proper, but it is city property, and that's so the police go out there when there's something there. There were some workers out there. They noticed a pickup truck parked on the park side there at the turnaround where, you go all the way past the shelter house and then that's where I think the new ramp,
new boat ramp.
the ramp and the kayak launch is. Anyway, a couple people were passed out in there. called the police. By the time the police got there, because they had to drive from town, that pickup truck was driving out of the park on Hammertown Lake Road. Well, they conducted a traffic stop to see if anything was wrong and whatever. And the man and the woman in the car, the man was from Scioto County, the woman was from Athens County. They seemed okay. However, when the police asked for consent to search, which they did, they found high volume of bagged methamphetamine in the vehicle.
Super.
And also a little bit of cocaine as well. This was a little bit more serious than just having some illegal drugs on you because there was enough and they were bagged that it was considered a trafficking type offense. And so no formal charges were filed against these two persons, but the case will be presented to a Jackson County grand jury. And if the evidence is sufficient and if the suspected drugs do test out to be what they think they were, there could be charges through the grand jury. But those two persons that were temporarily arrested and face future charges are Douglas Banks, age 50 of Lucasville, and Jenny Chapman, age 40 of Nelsonville. Mr. Banks also had a loaded pistol on his person, which was also a potential felony because of a past criminal case. He's not allowed to have a gun with him, let alone one loaded in a vehicle.
Because you're allowed to have guns now, right?
Right. They call that weapons under disability, meaning not that you're disabled, just means that you're disabled
from having
legally
the weapon.
from having a gun on you or maybe even a knife or whatever. So deer hunting season ended last Sunday, at least the week-long gun season. There'll be another weekend on the gun season, the 21st and 22nd. That's a Saturday and a Sunday. But here's the news. This was, a lot of people deer hunt, in our area. But the big news was, for the first time in several years, the so-called deer harvest was up. Not only in Ohio, but in our local counties of Jackson and Vinton counties. And I don't know whether that deer just was a picture that the Ohio Division of Wildlife put out, or it was in the sights of one of the hunters. I hope not, because I think it's beautiful. The deer is beautiful, big buck there. But anyway, how many deer were taken in the state? 87,192 whitetails during that week. That's a lot. That is the most in any year since 2011.
Holy moly!
When 90,282 were taken. By comparison, last year 70,103 deer were taken. Now we're talking just about the 1 week gun season on these numbers. So the deer hunting has been going on since I believe September for the archery hunters. It will go into the 1st of February. There'll be a muzzle loading season that's just 3 or 4 days in early January, and there will be the gun season once again the extra weekend, a little bit later this month. But in Jackson and Vinton counties, the numbers were also up. I'm going to give you those numbers. In Jackson County, 1,149 deer harvested last week. That compares to 1,018, so that's up about 150, almost 150. And in Vinton County, 865 deer were harvested last week, and that's up from 768 the year before, so that's almost 197, as a matter of fact. So whatever the explanation is, there's lots of factors that can affect that: hunting pressure, the weather, etc. But anyway, the deer harvest was up. Okay, speaking of other news, there was a big ribbon cutting down in Oak Hill last Thursday. It was for a new primary care outlet that Holzer has opened in Oak Hill. And Jimmy's right on the spot there with a picture. This was the ribbon cutting picture. Jeremiah Shaver was down there to report on that. We have a story that was on our front page on Wednesday. And we remember the old Oak Hill Hospital. As you've reminded me, I'm old enough to know when that was there. And there was
because it is your birthday today, Pete.
Right, and then well into when you can remember too.
I remember Oak Hill Hospital being a thing.
You're not a spring chicken either, are you?
Man, he is just going there today.
She may look like it, but anyway, Eventually, the Oak Hill Community Medical Center closed after, there was a hospital in Jackson. I forget what the timeline was, but I'm sure that this is a big deal for Holzer to have a primary care unit in Oak Hill. Do you know who Susan Moore is?
I do.
Susan, very well known and respected nurse practitioner. She is the main primary care provider there. There's other staff as well.
Okay.
But they celebrated with a ribbon cutting last Thursday. But it is at Holzer. There on Front Street. There are several other businesses in that building, but that office, they can do a variety of services, laboratory, point of care testing. They can do EKGs. They can do Holter monitors. That office is open Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Walk-in lab services are available, and external lab orders are accepted. So good news through Oak Hill and good news through Holzer as well. All right. We also want to report that our Jackson Middle School competition cheerleaders, they are competing with those varsity competition cheerleaders. Remember, the competition cheerleaders from Jackson High School, that's grades 9 through 12, they won a state championship in that competition not too long ago up at Upper Arlington. Well, these Jackson Middle School cheerleaders, that's grades 7 and 8, they are pictured there. They won 2 state championships at a competition last Sunday in at Ashland University. So I don't know what's in the water around here, but
a lot of good cheerleaders.
But
that's for sure.
I think the farm system is working. Because these girls, there's a lot of freshmen on the varsity crew, the high school crew, and these are middle school cheerleaders. So I'm not going to give you their names, but their pictures will be in the paper on Saturday. We want to congratulate all of them, and we also want to congratulate the coaches, Toria Brown and Tiffany Fout. All right, so what else? We're going to tell you a couple other things real quickly. Tonight, this is a big event in Jackson. This goes back longer than I've been alive, believe it or not. It is the 82nd annual.
Boy, I struck a nerve this morning.
You did. Hey, I'm still here, all right? The 82nd,
You're doing great,
the
Pete.
82nd annual D. Merrill Davis Carol Sing is tonight, all right?
That is amazing.
Right, down at the Jackson Middle School Auditorium, and we all know who D. Merrill Davis was, right?
Yes, we do.
I am so glad that so many years ago they decided to rename this event after him.
For sure.
But it goes back, to World War II even, this event. But the Jackson High School, middle school choirs will all be there. There'll be a chance for audience participation.
Is that at the auditorium at the middle school?
It'll be at the Jackson Middle School Auditorium. And the picture there that Jimmy put up actually isn't the, it's Christmas music, but it's something else that we'll talk about maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
But anyway, the...
that's a whole other thing.
That's right. But Jimmy can be confused because there's lots of Christmas music
There's lots of
going
Christmas
on.
music going on.
Right.
Yeah.
That actually is the D.M. Davis McCormick Choir's big concert last Sunday.
Okay.
Which I don't have time to tell you about now because I'm telling you about this other stuff.
Okay.
But the 82nd annual D. Merrill Davis Carol Sing is tonight. It is free, 7 p.m. at Jackson Middle School Auditorium. Always a big crowd there. There's a chance for audience participation. So warm your vocal cords up. And they also will even call the choir alumni up on the stage to sing a couple numbers like Carol of the Bells and Do You Hear What I Hear? Ash Culbertson, of course, in charge there. All right, and one other thing
sorry.
Bless you. We want to tell you one other thing. This is another big Christmas season project taking place out of the Wellston American Legion. There's a group called the 40 at 8. It's part of the American Legion, kinda, all right? It's kind of complicated, so I won't go into all that. But they do a Christmas food box program every year. And it's just not in Wellston, but they serve, different zip codes, including, I think, pretty much all of Jackson County and into Vinton County as well. And they not recently picked up, they put in a lot of money too, the Legion folks do, and the 40 at 8 folks do, but they also get donations from the community. And this enables them to give away as many as 300 Christmas food boxes that are presented to needy families, just 1 week before Christmas. I think it's going to be on Saturday the 21st, I think is when they're going to do that. They'll pack the boxes next week. But why I'm telling you about this now is you have to call and order it, all right?
Okay.
And now they're ready to take those orders. And when, they reach their capacity, there'll be no more food boxes. So it's important to call. So we want to pass that information along. The number to call is 740-384-5673. Once again, 740-384-5673. They will take your order through a food box. I don't think you really have to tell them a whole lot. You'll just be responsible to come to the pickup point on that day of distribution.
It's a wonderful, wonderful program they do there.
Right. So I want to thank you for everything except, digging me about the number of birthdays that I have. It's one thing to say I had a birthday. It's another thing to throw that classified information out there, and you did.
Listen, Pete, we all aren't dumb. We can do the math.
Okay. Well, we didn't say what year I was born or anything. So
But we can know what year you graduated.
But I didn't say that either.
You have in the past.
Okay. Well, anyway, so we want to thank Jimmy over there. Didn't Jimmy do a nice job
did a great
the first
job.
time out over
Yep.
there behind the camera at the controls?
Yep. And Pete, listen, you know that we love you very, very much, and we want to wish you the happiest of birthdays.
Okay.
In all seriousness.
Well, bless your heart. Bless your heart. I'll forgive you.
And we're sorry that we told everyone that you're 70.
Okay. Gosh, there you go again.
What?
Okay, just forget about it.
Okay.
Okay, well, when your birthday rolls around, they may be surprised how many of those that you have had, lady.
You're right. You're
Okay.
right. That's fair.
All right.
Fair. All right. Well, if you see Pete out and about today, wish him a happy birthday.
We'll tell you that the order is this. Jimmy's the youngest, then Kaylin, then you. And there's a little bit of gap between you and Kaylin.
I'd say you're probably right.
All right.
Yeah.
You may not look like it, but there is.
Well, thank you for everybody that came in. Kaylin, thank you for spending your morning with us, and we will be back here tomorrow. It looks like our guest will be Jason Morgan, coming to talk about a new coffee trailer that he just opened, or that's what it says on my piece of paper. So
Okay.
we'll
Well,
hold him to
whatever
it.
it is, I know you'll roll with it.
That's right. So have a great day, everyone. Weather is a little on the pretty, but kind of icky side out there. So be careful out there if you are out and about, and we will see you right back here tomorrow. Have a great
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.